Artist Chris Sligh. Chris, how are you doing?
That's me. I'm doing great, man.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Now you're getting ready to release a brand new album September 14th called The Anatomy Broken.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about the new record and overall and takeaway message that you'd like to see listeners take from it?
The basic message of this record is that it deals a lot with brokenness and how brokenness is a huge part of our lives, and then we're all broken, we're all messed up, and yet that's a beautiful, beautiful thing because if we weren't broken, we would have no need for God. If we weren't broken, we'd have no need for redemption. We'd have no need for love, and in return, we would have no need to love. And so really, it's all encompassing. Brokenness kind of, God had His perfect plan, and that was for us to be perfect. Unfortunately, Adam and Eve screwed it up for all of us.
Right.
And so here we are, 6,000 or 7,000 years later, and we haven't gotten it right once. And so now we're at the place where I think as Christians that we have to understand that we are messed up, and God's plan now, His perfect plan, is that we become redeemed, but ultimately have to admit that we are broken. And after we've been redeemed, we still have our brokenness. It slows down, maybe a little bit, some of the effects of our brokenness because we have, Christ's power in our life. But ultimately, we still are messed up, and we're all messed up. And so the message of the record is just that we can admit that we're messed up, and hopefully find joy in the fact that admitting that it's okay to admit that we're broken, because from that comes healing of relationships. So it's about brokenness, but really it's about community. Like the ultimate goal of admitting brokenness is that you can enter into community with other people who are broken and who admit they're broken, and you can find community and love and acceptance and accountability. But accountability really means nothing unless there's honesty and vulnerability. And so that's kind of the message that I want to come across, is that community is so vital for us as believers, that to live the Christian walk alone is nearly impossible, because it just is. Like, we need other people, we need each other, and so that community is so vitally important.
Yeah, and I've got a chance to listen through to it, and once again, amazing vocals. I wish I could sing like that, but unfortunately, the only time I get that kind of practice is in the shower and watching. So Chris does it every day out in public. So now, Chris, you've come a long way from American Idol, and I have to say that I'm truly impressed with you for the fact that you were offered basically a mainstream record deal that turned it down rather than go into the Christian ministry, to do this as a ministry rather than just a music career. And what I wanted to know is what it was like for you, on the American Idol. How was that experience? How did that influence you now with your ministry now?
The experience of American Idol was great. It was a fun time in my life. To go out on a big tour and be playing arenas, and to make as much money as we made on the tour was a lot of fun. And so it allowed me to, the money that I made on tour allowed me to kind of save up a little bit, so that as a Christian artist not making very much money, that I'm able to pay my bills for a little bit and all that kind of stuff. But really, American Idol, the influence that it had on me was minimal. I had been doing this for 10 years. As an independent artist, I started off, and I'd released 5 records before American Idol, and so American Idol I felt like was kind of a segue, so to speak, into a different time in my life. And I felt like God was calling me. At first, I felt like God was calling me to do mainstream music, but the more I prayed about it after I got off, I realized that I felt like that I was being called back to Christian music. I started off in Christian music, had gone to mainstream, and then I felt like God was calling me back, and made the choice to, be an artist who talked about my faith in a pretty open and in an open way. And so to me, it was it was a tough choice to walk away from as much money as I walked away from, but ultimately I felt like that this is my home. This is where I'm supposed to be.
Right. Well, with you've done American Idol, you performed alongside legendary Christian artists, and you've had success in the industry as both a performer and a songwriter. But did you ever think that you would be where you are today? You know, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you're an artist, and I've always been kind of competitive and want to be, and want to do well in this industry. I don't think anybody gets into it going, I want to put out a record and sell 1,000 copies. That's what I want to do. Like, I think most people want to go for a gold record or whatever it is that is success in our industry. I think that you can never look at your life and go, this is how it's going to turn out, But I think that you can hope and pray and hope that, that you have something to say and that people can resonate with what you have to say. And so for me, that's way more important than success. I want to be good at my craft. I want to practice my craft. I want to do well with what I do. And hopefully, as I become more successful at my craft, that it leads to being successful as far as like how I can do. Because ultimately, I have to pay my bills. This is my job, and so I want to do well at what I do in order to pay my bills.
Right. And God, though it's a ministry, God knows your needs, and
right.
He's going to bless you
exactly
and provide for you as long as you're doing what He wants you to do. Now we're here at Disney World. We're on the Walt Disney World Resort. So fans may be wondering, what's your favorite park to visit while you're here, and or maybe a ride in the park that you like?
Well, as a kid, we used to come to Disney World.
With the exception of the American Idol experience in Hollywood Studios, of course.
Yeah. We came to Disney World when I was a kid several times, and so my favorite was always Space Mountain. That was always my favorite. So I try to hit it every time I'm here. I just hit Space Mountain as many times as I can.
That's awesome. Well, Chris is going to be over at Magic Kingdom, not for the Night of Joy event, but the Youth Leader Lounge that we're doing. So looking forward to seeing you perform over there.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome.
Well, Chris, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Chris Sligh here. Be sure to pick up his new record, The Anatomy Broken, coming out September 14th from Word Records.